Kawhi, this was kind of a game of runs where you guys led by 15 in the first half. They made their run in the third. You guys retook the lead in the fourth. Where did you guys sort of lose this game?
In that third quarter, I thought, they came out and hit first, and the rest did a great job of competing in that third quarter, getting downhill. I think we didn't talk enough in transition, and they was getting easy baskets.
Obviously, you guys have had a pretty good track record this year of closing out games. Doc mentioned the composure that not being there tonight. What did you kind of see late in the fourth quarter that was maybe a little different than what you've seen in previous games?
Just missed shots. Some of our players was out. Lou got kicked out. Pavy got kicked out. And that's pretty much it. We didn't read them too well on the defensive end when they were on the defensive end.
Was there anything specific in that second half you saw that made it so difficult to score for you guys?
Just wasn't. We didn't have no pace really. Just coming down, one dribble shots. Really didn't run no offense. Just very slow.
Kawhi, what are your takeaways from these three matchups against the Rockets and what it might mean moving forward?
Just like any other game, just trying to go out and win, and hopefully we could get better as a team. And tonight we lost, so we got to see what our mistakes are, and try to improve for the next game.
With Doc pointed out that some of the offense stalled in the fourth quarter, and with Lou out, with Pat out, does some of that fall on your shoulders to play make more for some of the other guys?
Yeah, and then just basically trying to get us into an offense and just figure out, what's really going on out there. Kind of put our heads down a little bit too early, but we just got to keep pushing. We'll figure it out.
Kawhi, when ejections and players are kicked out like that and play stops, does that affect your pace, your continuity?
Yeah, for sure. Seeing some of our key guys get kicked out and them not being in those moments where where we work on it at practice. Sometimes it get confusing, but they did a great job. Rockets did a great job coming on that second half, hitting hard, and competing to the end.
Quite. Does the chippiness between these two teams do you think that got to you guys tonight?
Like I said, I feel like they came in the first half with a better pace, hit first mindset, and kind of got us on our heels, and we responded too late.
Kawhi, next week when you guys come back as a home game, it's gonna be at the Staples Center against the Lakers, and then but it's gonna be Christmas also. What does your Christmas mean to you, and then how do you wanna play on the game?
We got 2 games before that. You asked me that the other time, and I'm not thinking about it right now. But just be able to play on Christmas will be great.
Kawhi, it seems like in the first half you guys did a great job of containing Harden, but in the second half he was able to get in some of those one-on-one isolation situations. Is there any reason as to why that was?
He just got into his rhythm and made shots. He kept being aggressive, and that's what great players do.
Kawhi, in games where you guys have had a bigger lead, you've been able to maybe not play as much late in the game. When it is closed down to the wire, how do you manage personally your energy when you're out on the court and how you go about each possession?
Just like any other quarter, just compete each possession, and hopefully we could get some execution on the offensive end, get some open looks, and make sure our rotations are great on the defensive end. Pretty much the same thing.
Thank you.
Paul, this seemed like the epitome of a game of runs where you guys led by 15 in the first half. They made their run in the third. You guys took it back in the fourth. Where was this game lost for you guys?
Just in the third. I thought to start the third out, we lost that aggression that we started the first half with, and that was the game.
Reasons to why that happened?
if I could, we would have won tonight.
It seemed like Russ got going downhill quite a bit in the second half. Is there anything he did differently in this game, or the way they used him and tried to get him free?
Russ was Russ. You know, Russ played his, had that attack mentality. I almost felt he was ultra aggressive with, Harden struggling. He made some big shots, some big threes. I thought he was just timely. Whenever we felt we had them, and in that third, our tempo was slow, and I thought Russ changed the game with his tempo, playing up speed, and really that was the game.
Paul, the other night you talked about the progress of the team defense so far. When you guys single covered Harden tonight, seemed to be the most effective. That's what Doc felt anyway. What allowed you guys to kind of contain him going away from the traps?
Like I mentioned earlier today, we weren't. It was my first time, or not first time, but it was like my third, fourth game with the group. I was still working on, my body, my wind, body movement, and I thought it was just early for us as a group. Whereas tonight, I thought, we've got a couple games under our belt. We know how to play with one another, and defensively, we're a lot further now than we were first or the second game. I thought that was really the key. Really the key for us. We just have a little bit more chemistry and continuity on the defensive end.
Teams often put such an emphasis on stopping Harden from scoring. He is the top scorer in the league, so rightly so. But do you think at times teams sometimes can lose sight that Russ is a prolific scorer and needs to be paid attention to as well, like tonight?
Yeah, no, we didn't forget it. Russ is definitely, he was a highlight for us tonight. It wasn't that we were focusing mainly on James. Russ just had a good night. Russ was aggressive. He made plays. He hit some big shots. But it wasn't that the game plan was to focus solely on James. We knew this is a two-headed monster when you're playing the Rockets.
You played against Russ, obviously, in the past, and you played with him. Tonight, was that ultra aggressiveness you speak about? Was that something different, or was that kind of to be expected?
Yeah, that's Russ. That's how Russ plays. Russ is aggressive, start to finish. He's going to look for his shots. He's going to look to make plays. I thought Russ was Russ, but he just hit some big shots. And he just, he pushed the tempo and he changed the game with how he started the third.
Was it kind of fun to play with him this time around? Since you know him, you got him a couple times too.
Yeah. No, it's going to always be fun. It's is deeper than basketball. We all SoCal kids. We've got a bunch of games under our belts, whether it's pickups, league games. It's always fun whenever we can match up against each other.
Doc said that he felt you guys lost your composure in the fourth with the techs and the ejections. How did you view the emotion down the stretch of this game?
We did. That's on myself, being one of the veterans on the team. Just changing the focus, gearing it towards finishing the game, getting good shots, good looks, and taking that focus off of the officiating. That's on me. And we'll be better. That's we're a work in progress. We're still learning how to close games out. It's gonna come though.
Paul, you and Russ had something pretty good going in Oklahoma City, and you wound up going your separate ways, but you're still good friends. How were you able to, the two of you, reach a sort of amicable parting when Oklahoma City just didn't work out?
Respect. We handled it like men. I came to him. We talked. It was all out of respect. Basically how it was handled.
Hey, Paul, with how competitive and chippy these games have gotten with the Rockets, how much do you see this potentially becoming a rivalry?
I mean, we ain't won a chip. Houston ain't won it forever. I think it's got to be a little bit more to be a rivalry. You know, we're competing. Both teams are competing. It's got to be a little bit more there for it to be a rivalry.
Paul, you kind of spoke on it. Obviously, nobody ever wants to lose a game, but are you like appreciative that you had this game early in the season and you can kind of use it as a learning experience going towards the playoffs when the intensity will be high every single night?
Yeah, I mean, it's no moral victories. We need challenges like this. There's no moral victories. Fact of the matter is, we let one slip away. Just poor execution down the stretch on our part. And as Coach said, I mean, we weren't composed and it got to us. But that is, this is a good challenge and great for us to be challenged in those areas because that's what it's going to come down to, playoff time. Stuff not going our way, it comes down to possessions. And, we got to be smart about our, possessions. Every one of them counts. And I thought, we took advantage of it tonight of not, really focusing in on those possessions.
Two more. You said that it's bigger than basketball. How does it feel personally over to you to play against Harden, Westbrook, and play with Kawhi, knowing that you're a SoCal kid?
I think I answered that one.
Paul,
Oh, that was your question? I thought I answered that one.
your team had been so excellent at home, 14-1, and this is one, as you say, slipped. Are all losses the same, or does this one nag at you a little more because teams are expected to win their home games?
Yeah, this one, definitely hurts a little more, just because of how it, ended. I can understand if we played hard and the other team just had a good night and beat us. This is one on our floor. We started out, we dominated, and then we changed our aggression, and then we allowed a team to beat us. This one, it's not like it's a 1.3 loss. Still one loss, but for sure, these type of losses is the ones that we can't let get away from us.
Thank you.
Keeping our matchups, we're making them good spots to win, we're making take tough shots, but it was everybody, complete team defensive game.
We got a chance to talk about with this signing, Russ coming to the team before he actually came to the team in USA basketball. And it was kind of unknown. Since now you have some time to play with him, what did he bring to the squad and how did that feel like?
He brings friction with the media. I can't ask him no questions, and he's going to make y'all wait till the last minute for y'all to come in and talk to us. Just know that that's already known. He brings energy, man, just his energy. The team, we go back and forth a few times. He get a little winded. He still got that extra burst to get up the court, be able to finish, and be able to make plays for everybody. With James on the court and off the court, so his energy opens up everything for all of us. For me to go to threes, for Clint to dunks, just our entire game. And it's like it unleashes another level to Houston Rockets when he does that.
Hey, PJ, what do you take away from these three games against the Clippers and what it might mean moving forward?
All three games could have went either way. They were all battles. And we know that when they come into the season, we match up really well together, and it's going to be players making plays. Which team can get stops in the end? Because we know, every single time it's going to come down like that. So we enjoy the challenge, and they obviously do. There are a lot of great guys over there, so it's always fun.
Road wins are tough to get and important. I mean, you beat the team with the best home record, so any significance to tonight?
No, just us continue to try to get better. We've given up a lot of games that we should have won. We played better on the road, which is super weird. But we got some bad losses at home. So every single time we get a chance to win the games, we got to pick up every one we can. Everybody came with the energy and the focus tonight to be able to get this game right.
Why do you say we've seen such intensity in the games against the Clippers?
The main thing is just players want to win. Guys want to win. Everybody knows we're two of the best teams in the league. These matchups are always on national TV. And this is guys. I love going against Kawhi. James loves the stage, and everybody. And the same thing on that side. Pat Bev loves it. He plays into the crowd, get everybody going. plays really hard. So it's just good for the fans and for the players.
How do you guys try to handle that as a team, like when there are moments of chippiness or feistiness?
We love that. That's our bad games are when we play boring games and nobody's paying attention. Those are our bad games. When the stakes are high and it's good teams, we always show up and play hard and play together.
You guys are yet to have a full roster yet, but Eric Gordon is close to returning. Can you just describe what he means to this team and what he
Gordon's a big part of our team. He's one of our main guys. His aggression with being out there with Russ and James and that mixture, and finally figuring out our lineups. And coach can finally have our full team. I'm excited to see it. We haven't really seen it, because he was coming off injury early too. So to have him back healthy and get things rolling, I'm excited to see it.
Can you talk about the last two games? He came back from double digits, big deficits. What's that do for the?
I don't know what it is about starting games, but we start off slow. It's something we got to work on. It's been like that since I've been on the Rockets, so it's something we continue to try to get better at. We'll figure it out, especially with Eric coming back. We got to have our energy up. The guys come off the bench, got to have more energy. We give up. We started the game well. We gave up a bunch of open shots. That's how they got rolling. They got their lead. We got to have more energy coming into the games for sure.
Coach Antonio mentioned your defense on Kawhi. What makes it harder to defend him, and what do you think you did right?
He's one of the best players in the league. He's strong. He's physical. He's really good pull-up shooter. He's a good catch-and-shoot shooter. I don't know. He can do everything. Yeah. So you just got to be physical with him. Try to knock him off his spots. Try to make him take tough shots. Keep my body in between him. Blah blah blah. It just comes down to players making plays.
10 more assists for Harden tonight on the night. It becomes the franchise's all-time assist leader.
Good thing to get a win must have been a thing that I'll worry about mostly going on.
Russell, you had 40 points in the game today, but you also had Staples Center crew check the side of the rim to see this one.
Yeah, it was lopsided, at least I thought. But it don't matter.
Road wins are big, but road wins against a team that only lost once here. How significant a win is this with that?
It's a big win. As a team, and our main goal is to be able to win at the highest level, and obviously they're a good team at home, and came in and took care of business.
Hey Russ, what's your takeaways from these 3 games against them so far this season?
That we're not even fully healthy. And that's the scary part about it. I know we can play better 48 minutes, and we put ourselves in a position to win each and every game.
Once you guys have a full roster, once you guys have a full roster back, what do you envision helping us?
Say that again?
Once you guys have a fully healthy roster back, what do you envision this team being capable of?
The Clippers were up 15 in the first half. You guys feel in here like that was their best time?
Yep. We came in here, we knew we were going to get ourselves back in the game because we knew it wasn't playing our best. Defensively, offense to take care of itself, but we knew defensively we weren't playing what we needed to.
Coach said before the game that the biggest difference from the last meeting with Clippers now is you finding yourself in offense. How would you describe how you continue to find yourself?
It's coming. As the season goes along, I figure out a way to make my impact on the game, whatever it is, scoring, defending, rebounding, passing. So the game is kind of telling me what I need to do.
Growing up in Los Angeles, what does it mean to play against LA teams in LA?
Oh man, it's fun. 12th season, man. It's not like rookie year, man. It's the same old.
Do you consider this a rivalry between you and the Clippers?
No, man. 2 teams competing at a high level.
What would it take
What
to
is it
consider it a
about
rivalry?
these games, like the ingredients that
Say it
we've
again.
seen? What is it about these games in particular that we've seen?
A lot of talent on the floor, a lot of people competing, a lot of people talking, a lot of answers going on. So people like to see that.
Hey, sometimes teams put such an obvious emphasis on stopping James from scoring. He's the leading scorer in the league. Do you think sometimes they lose sight of the fact you're a prolific scorer too?
Go ahead. That's their problem. They figure it out. That's the people, man.
There was a lot of talk going on after the trade over the summer, but what's your relationship like with PG since the trade?
PG, my boy. We still talk, communicate. Nothing changed. What I'm saying? Obviously, we're on separate teams now. When we get into between those lines, we compete. But I still stay in contact with him, check on his family, and vice versa.
How was the party between you guys amicable? It seemed like you guys are on good terms now. Hasn't always been that way.
Who?
You and PJ.
What you mean it hasn't always been that way? What are you saying?
With other players who have left the Thunder,
With
when
who?
you were on the team, with KD.
That's not true. You need to know what you read.
This was a game with a lot of points scored, and yet the consensus was it was won on the defensive end. Can you explain that when there was so
Yeah, I
many
thought we did a good job. I thought Tuck did a hell of a job in the fourth quarter, and I know it's something that you guys probably won't look at, but he did a hell of a job. Man, he won us that game defending at a high rate. You saw you waved off Pat Beverly after you got ejected, and then James Harden came over you. Did you wish you didn't do that? No. Why would I wish I didn't do it? Yeah, it's technical. What else is there?
Russ, you said this is now your 12th season, so what do you think this might bring to your career?
Oh man, I'm honestly thankful to be able to go out and play every night.
James Harden became Houston's franchise all-time leading assist leader from all your time having played with him. I know obviously he's known as such a prolific scorer, but what do you think that mark means to him?
It's great, man. He's an unbelievable playmaker as well. He's done an unbelievable job of carrying this franchise for many, many years and still doing it.
I really did. I would say that I thought Kane waited and gave us a chance. I tried to grab Lou. We all tried to grab him. But at some point, I thought the official had to do his job. So that's on us. That can't happen.
You mentioned the team lost their composure in the fourth quarter. Were you surprised to see that? It's pretty uncharacteristic from this group, it seems.
It is. We're a pretty calm group, but it happens. It's a good lesson, maybe. I'd rather for it to happen now than in the fourth quarter in the playoff game, I guess. So we'll see if that's a learning lesson. The texts have to be. That's something we can control. If I knew that, I would be the smartest man in the world, and I think I've proven that I'm not. I think you guys, the first time you guys have agreed with me all week.
Last game, a big theme was the trapping of Harden out to like 35, 40 feet. Tonight, you guys did some of that, did some kind of more conventional one-on-one. How'd you kind of find that balance? And
I liked our balance on Harden overall. It's funny, the two times we trapped in the first half were just god-awful traps, and we left guys wide open. That was on us. That's not what we worked on this morning. And then in the fourth quarter, we had three times where we were supposed to trap and didn't. And I think he made 2 threes on those, So I actually liked how we were guarding him when we were guarding him one-on-one. I liked where our body position was, something we talked about. And I thought when we did that, we were effective. But like I said before, that one defense is going to work on him. And he was effective overall. But I thought Russell and Tucker, they won this game for them.
Anytime a team plays Houston, there's an obvious emphasis on stopping Harden, the top scorer in the league. Is that same attention on Westbrook as well?
It is. It is. And we talked about it today. We said this is I actually said almost that. I said we give so much attention to Harden, we forget the other MVP that's on their team. And you got to respect him and play him the right way. I thought we lost our discipline a lot on him tonight, especially in transition. We were jabbing at the ball in the backcourt. Once he gets in front of you, you're not catching him. At least nobody that I've seen. And I thought that happened over and over in the second half.
Doc, how critical was it losing Pat Beverly at that 6th foul? And did you see
it's
a change?
always it's critical losing Lou. It's critical losing Pat. But again, that was us. Like that was our mistakes. I told Pat, you got 5 fouls. We got to be more solid. Honestly, did I think that was a foul compared to all the reaching and going on? No. But it is what it is. But losing Pat any time in the game, it's critical for us, and losing Lou is just as critical.
I mean, obviously, Lou's usually even keel, doesn't usually react that way. When you see that, did you consider challenging the call at all or anything like that?
No. I mean, I didn't. I saw it, and I didn't think it was a foul, but it was a reach. And this is why I don't like the challenge rule, because it's got to be almost so clear that it's not a foul. Otherwise it's just the call's going to stay. That's part of the reason I don't like that challenge.
Coach, With Pat being the passionate guy that he is, do you think that he let that passion, I guess, get to him a little bit and pick up some fouls that he shouldn't have picked
Yeah,
up?
I think we all did. You know, listen, we had a big lead. We came out and kind of gave it up, and I thought, you know, it's like when you get jumped. You know, I thought that's what happened. We didn't react to it very well. So I think it was all of us.
Landry's threes in the fourth, was that kind of the most you've seen him look like the Landry of last season, and
You know,
kind of what you guys have been
he looked great in
missing?
Chicago too. You know, he played great in the first game. Last game he didn't play as well. But Landry's going to help us. He's going to be a big factor for us. You know, when he came in the game, every time the game changed in our favor tonight. So I was very happy with him overall.
Doug, there's always so much drama and emotions when the Clippers play the Rockets. How you expect this rivalry to continue?
You know, protect the tunnels. You know, if we do that, I think everything's going to be good. So, you know, I don't know what it is. It is something for sure. I couldn't come up with anything. So, but it is something there. There's no doubt about it. So let's keep playing them. We're all for it. All right, guys. On that note, I got to go.